Immigration has been a significant aspect of not only United States history, but also that of many countries. The United States was mainly found on the basis of immigration. The purpose of this research essay is to discuss the preconceived notions that immigrants are motivated by some lust for the U.S., but instead are motivated by a desire to escape the poor conditions in Latin America. Using an array of studies and sources, I will explore the marginalization and victimization of the lower class, women, LGBTQ community, and the implications it's had on migration and the frequent counterarguments from individuals who oppose immigration. Much of the lower class in Latin America live in rural areas, and the negligence of the government is very prominent in these areas. It's permitted the rise of organized crime groups, corruption, and violence in Latin America. And so, this continual growth of violence has really affected the population in Latin America. It's created a structural violence that's inflicted by the conditions prevailing in the structures of society, which prevents access to a lot of public services, housing, education, healthcare, and employment. And so this type of violence is really hard for individuals to endure, and it's very one of the huge factors that motivates people in migrating to the United States from Latin America. This organized crime surge in Latin America has led people to flee their native countries in order to seek security and safety for themselves and their families in the United States. According to the United Nations, for example, Mexico in 2011 ranked only 14th per capita killings with an average of 22.8 homicides for every 100,000 inhabitants. Honduras, now ranked first, has 90 for every 100,000 people. El Salvador is right behind it. In 2013 alone, the gang violence of this frightened corner of the world claimed 15,328 lives. The LGBTQ community is another population targeted in Latin America. The Latin American countries view themselves as a machista culture, so a lot of these people in these specific communities are often beaten, pursued, jumped by gang members daily. They're usually denied housing, employment, promotions, or even eventually fired without considering their qualifications or employment practices, and that's what makes these communities find refuge and seek asylum in the United States. The migration dynamics and experiences of Latin American women are often overlooked. Many people assume that women migrate to follow their partner, but usually they do so to escape sexual violence, victimization, and the ongoing struggle to reconstruct gender roles in their countries and cultures of origin. Many women endure depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, abuse, and victimization daily, and aren't able to escape this by just moving to a different part of the country. That's when transnational migration becomes necessary, and the corruption within Latin America, institutional structures do not protect many of these women, so they're forced to migrate to the United States. There are many preconceived notions of why immigrants migrate to the United States, and so I wanted to really touch on two of those reasons. One of them being that the fiscal burdens that increase the size of welfare states, and the second being the market competition that threatens individuals in specific job sectors. Many immigrants, whether they're documented or undocumented, pay taxes and are beneficial to our economy. A 2011 study by the Institute for Taxation Economy Policy found that undocumented immigrants paid $11.2 billion in state and local taxes in 2000 alone. As you can see, immigrants are contributing to the United States. And it's because they can no longer live a life where they are not constantly targeted by crime groups, exploited by their government, or abused by their community. The desperation of an unsolvable corrupt system is what drives these communities to migrate to the United States, because they know that they will not be able to call this place home, yet they know they'll find infinitely more choices of surviving in the U.S. than in their motherland. So to end, I ask you, how can you create a better community for immigrants in the United States.